All right.
Of course, he's not prepared.
But he's a professional.
Yeah. What does that mean? Oh, what more do you want from me?
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen,
yeah,
I would like to welcome you to the Greatest Show on Podcast. I'm your host, Lee.
What else?
AKA Southside Lee on IG.
What else?
And I'm joined by my partner in pod.
Yes! Earlington Agustas the Great.
AKA
your baby mama's baby daddy.
AKA
your auntie's favorite pool boy.
AKA
deep, never soft. And we are
3ThePodWay. Chumps.
Your success took a shot at you. What are you gonna do now? How are you gonna kill it? You gonna become unsuccessful?
You goddamn right. Let's give it up for him.
What up, selector? Yeah! CRC legend! Yeah! John Rock Money! Sesly Bwoi! The bedroom! Bully!
DKA! Giggles! DKA!
They love to watch me come, but they hate to watch me leave.
DKA!
All top, no bottom.
DKA, Parental Advisory. We need a sticker on these
The
podcasts.
sponsors?
Yeah.
Dirty Diana.
Hey. Oh, man.
Yo.
Yeah. Grand opening, grand closing, huh?
Hey, y'all.
Back.
Hey,
Welcome
guys.
back. Welcome back.
I missed y'all.
Did you?
Everybody's quiet. Like, nobody's excited. I came in ready to turn up.
Ready to
and
pod.
You came ready to pod.
Y'all said nothing. You gave me nothing.
All right, we're here now.
We're here.
We're here
Are
now.
you?
Nice jacket.
Thank you. Members
Yeah.
only.
Is that an offshoot of OnlyFans or? Yeah.
Ooh,
It's not a one size fits all.
that's an idea right there.
what I did.
Ooh.
All right, let's
members only.
Before we get into it, we're gonna do this the right way.
Oh, yeah.
Word from our sponsors.
Yeah, the kids.
Talk to 'em.
Play the kids.
Follow 3ThePodWay on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Chumps.
Sounds so beautiful, don't you agree? Again, as customary, also with the show, our cameraman, I'm sure he's gonna put his name somewhere in this area here.
Yeah.
But for those that don't know, again, we like to give you these updates because I know now everyone's tuning in for those updates.
Yeah, they're interested.
So he's evolved past the waves at this point. The first thing I noticed about him today was that he had beard grease.
He came in shining.
You had it on, or you saw something in his pocket.
Well, no. So what happened
Did he
was
apply it in front of you?
Well, no. When I first saw him, it was outside, and you know how. So he turned right. So he turned. He turned like this way, and so the sun hit the grease.
Okay.
And so there was a chemical reaction, and I wanted to ask him about it, but I was uncomfortable, and I didn't know how to approach him about it. Because again, he's leveling up on us, right?
Right.
You also noted, and we're going to keep going on this. You also noted that since we've known him, which has been how long now?
At least 11 months. We're just gonna throw 11.
Let's say a year.
Yeah,
let's give him a year. We've known him a year. We've never known him to remove his jacket.
Right, and it's been multiple seasons throughout that year.
Right. So everything you've seen
Let's go with
from
4,
him,
at
right.
least.
So you've seen everything you've seen from us visually. He's done, and we've never seen him without a jacket on it at some point, no matter how hot, how cold.
Right.
Jacket on.
Yeah, but today,
he decided that he was going to make a point to someone in the room, and that was to let someone know, try me.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Did anyone else get that kind of energy?
Well, I just told him to put his body away.
You told him to put his body away,
Yeah.
right? Because also the shirt,
Yeah, show me a little bit more respect when you.
a little, right? Yeah, okay, all
The
right.
sleeves are rather short.
Hey, I felt like we would be doing you a disservice if we didn't take a moment to.
This is really like a PSA for you. You know what I mean? We hyping you up.
Is there something you want to say? They can hear you.
Yeah. Nah, we not. Nah,
you good? No. He got too much airtime.
Respect the shooter.
Hey, respect the shooter. Let's give it up for him.
They might want to see me.
There you go. All right.
Hey, listen.
Hey, we're looking for a new cameraman. If anyone's available.
You can apply at the email address listed below.
Go ahead and post that one too. Right here.
Sesly boy, talk to us. How you doing?
Wagwan, my youth.
Yeah, talk to us. What's going on?
Yeah. Zagaza.
Pull up, selector. More tunes. But nah, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a while. I haven't seen you guys in a minute.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
It's been a while.
I see you almost every day.
Let me ask you a question. Do y'all FaceTime?
Nah, we don't do tummy time with Earl.
Nah. Y'all don't FaceTime?
Nah,
that's specifically for you.
I reserved that. That's
I just figured I'd ask.
That's the special time
moment.
that we share.
I'm not going to intrude on that by all means. Y'all can have that.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, we Zoom.
Oh. Y'all are professional.
We're a little bit more professional.
We say the 25 minutes.
FaceTime here, Zoom there.
Okay. All right. I can dig it.
I didn't know that was a thing. So you can't FaceTime another man.
Yeah, it's like it's a man law violation.
So okay, all right, okay.
It's like a misdemeanor. If you got felonies and misdemeanors, it's a misdemeanor. You can't do that.
Okay.
And if
except
you do,
for if it's family.
Well, if you do violate, there's certain spaces that you can't FaceTime. Like you can't FaceTime like in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, no, right.
You can't FaceTime.
What if you're just walking in there to grab a comb?
Nah.
You
gotta throw the phone.
I can't see your vanity lights.
Like
if I see your vanity lights,
throw the phone across the room, or he has to hang up instantly.
So I did one day bring up to Earlington Agustas the Great. Don't ever FaceTime me with the sound of the shower on in the background.
Like not in preparation.
Right. So so if you even feel like you're about to get in the shower, that's not the time to have any type of conversation.
Hey, I got something to get off my chest real quick. I'm gonna just turn the shower on real quick.
Yeah, nah. Don't
and you can't
don't be on the phone with me letting the water warm up. Like don't disrespect me. Like
or with your like headboard in the background.
Wow.
Right, because that means you was comfortable, and that's like you're either the first person I thought of when I woke up, or the last person I'm gonna talk to before I go to bed. And that can't happen either. So the headboard can't be in the background. Yeah, it's a little few stipulations. Yeah.
Okay.
So even though you said don't ask you, I'm gonna ask you anyway because that's just what we do here. How have you been?
Well, thank you for asking.
It's Women's History Month.
Yeah,
It absolutely is.
It feels really long.
It's my sorority sisterhood month. Shout out to the Divas at Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Let's give it up for them.
I was gonna say something, but then I thought it's a lot of y'all, so I'm gonna just reserve that. I'm gonna reserve that for myself.
So what's up, man? What you got for us?
Ain't nothing new, man. Man, the one time. I'm sorry, man. I've just been enjoying life away from, you guys.
All right.
Wait, so can we talk about this?
Let's get into it. We can get into it. What do you want to talk about?
So I missed y'all, but I feel like y'all didn't miss me. Like we took a whole break.
Oh, for those who don't know, the viewers, we took a little week off just to kind of refresh and
just a week. Nothing
I mean,
crazy.
I personally I was spent. Okay, I was over this group of people.
Okay. Let me paint the picture, right? So for anyone who thinks that doing a podcast is necessarily easy, right? Even though you do it with your friends and it is fun, it is work at the same time because you're thinking about everything that goes into the episode, how you're going to craft it, how you're going to market it, how you're going to do all that. And it's a never ending cycle, right? For sure. And then to build the chemistry, you can't just wait until you get in front of a camera. You have to actually have the relationship, right? Because I'm assuming people can tell just by the way we interact that we have relationships outside of this, right? So you do episode after episode. I mean, you're spending a lot of time talking about podcasts. Yeah. And when I say last week, the wall was like written on everybody's face. Everybody just hit the wall, right? And so it was just like unspoken, but it was agreed. It was like, you know what? Let's just relax a little bit. Let's just go away for a second and let's as you said, recalibrate.
Enjoy y'all families.
But I was gonna say, but y'all just let me feel like I was the problem.
You are. No, we have to blame
You
somebody.
didn't even tell me.
That you were the problem?
I didn't know until
Yeah.
Monday evening hit, and I was like, oh.
Okay, so the new thing is group chats and separate group chats.
Yeah.
Right. So
So some people got the
right. So and
information.
you all have them, right? So you all have those group chats where you want everyone to know what's going on, and then there's that one or two people where it's like, you know what? Let's create a separate group chat.
You're one or two people. That's you. You're that one or two people.
So
Damn,
you
this
all
is
had
rough.
already made the
Yeah,
decision
without you.
before I messaged you?
Right. And we allowed you to
It's
feel as
possible.
though that
It's possible.
that you.
I'm
are-
not confirming. I'm just saying it's possible.
Yet again,
was a family.
lovely jacket. Just in case you were wondering, members only, right? Okay.
But look, man, I will say also during this time, I took note of something that you said, right? Because I'm going to be honest, right? It weighed heavily on my mind when you said it, right? You said that on this podcast, I don't talk and I don't share.
Oh, that's good.
No, don't do that. Does anyone else think that I don't share?
What?
Yes.
Okay. By a show of hands, everyone.
I think
If the
So
listeners
let me
could-
ask. So,
could
so let me ask
respond.
this. So let me ask a question in front of everyone, right? Does anyone care to hear me share?
Yes.
Do they? Why?
How was your week?
No, we'll get to that. But why?
Your voice matters. Your voice matters.
Yeah, because
Your
you're on the
opinion
podcast,
matters.
and that's what we pay you
okay,
to
so
do.
look, right. So look, let me talk through this.
That
right?
goes into your check.
So I come from I come from the school of say less, right? Like literally, right? You only say what's necessary. And then I also come from the school of I'm not completely convinced that people necessarily care to hear my opinions.
is
on
this
things.
high school or which school? Because you said two schools.
Right.
Did you transfer in between or how did?
JUCO.
Okay.
JUCO. But yeah, so I'm still working through that apparently, right? Where again I'm trying to figure out if people really care to hear my deep rooted opinions.
Well,
on
you
things.
won't know until you offer them,
Right,
And then
okay.
they'll tell you, "Hey,
If they like it or not.
we tell
go-
him
so-
not to
so
speak
go out on the
because we
ledge.
don't care what he says."
You seem as though you have
She's
something
perplexed.
to say to that. Go ahead.
You
I was
befuddled,
just-
my G.
I mean, I was just thinking, like, don't we have a podcast
I was just.
Yeah.
I
and a
wanted to.
YouTube channel?
Exactly.
Yeah,
What all we supposed to do is talk.
We're
Right.
always supposed to do is talk.
that's
Yeah.
all. That's all people care for you to do.
And
Right.
I mean, I understand you guys, brought me on pretty early on, so you could say that a lot of the followers are,
Oh.
Slight
flex.
I mean, I won't even go there. You could say that.
Yeah. See.
This your last episode. I'm gonna just.
Is it
go
my
ahead.
I had already
that
signed
contract
on.
ran out.
Oh, you signed a long term deal. Huh? You said you signed a
No,
long
15 episodes.
15 episode deal. Okay.
Yeah, tonight is night 15. But
Yikes!
people are subscribing because they like what we have to say. There are some people that are coming from different, knowing different people that I think are on the podcast and they've gotten to know you. There are a lot of subscribers that are here because of you, and now they've gotten to learn, about 2 or 3 additional people.
Right.
Everybody, loves the shooter. They've never seen him. They've never
Yeah,
met
they'll
him.
never
But
see
they've
him.
all gone to his page.
Never.
I'm
It's
sure
by
from all
design.
the times
Never.
he's dropped his
Yeah,
Instagram on
Right.
the
We're
podcast.
canceling
But
that.
it is what it is. Everybody here is all good, it's all love. But people are here because they like what we're saying.
Right.
they're here to see the voice.
You probably
Hey,
write
by the way,
hashtag.
free the voice hashtag free the
We gonna
voice.
start that campaign.
Free the
500
voice.
followers.
Whoa! Let's
500.
amp that up.
We about to hit that.
We about to get that
500
tomorrow.
followers.
Yeah.
We are gonna free the voice.
We'll just show a picture of him. We gonna tease
a silhouette.
You get a tease, yeah, silhouette of the voice.
And then as soon as
It's a
outside
teaser.
opens, we out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Free the voice, man. Free the
from,
voice.
so from what I'm understanding, I need to share more.
Just a little bit, man. Just elaborate. You know.
Just share more. All right.
It's not like
All right, cool.
a sister circle or anything, Drew.
Oh, what?
I ain't know what a shh.
Never mind. Don't worry about it. So stimmies.
Hey, the stimmies hit.
Let's give it up for him. So naturally, the first thought is for those that are receiving stimmies, right?
Yeah.
What is the thought process and what is the plan of attack? What's happening? what's going on out here? Because I'm hearing some pretty outrageous things, right? Because the amount is a little higher. So I'm hearing some pretty outrageous things, right?
I guess the proper question is, what would you do with the stimmy?
If you were so blessed to receive.
Yeah, if you were one of those people.
Right. Man, I'm a rainy day type, right? So I'm probably gonna put it away initially, and then kind of see where I'm at. You know, if I'm able to do so, wait, and then like maybe a couple months after, because you know the high of getting it could just lead to a impulse purchase, right? So to stay away from that, probably just put it away.
See, I'm gonna buy something. I'm that guy, right? Whenever I get a large lump sum of money, I have to buy something to remind me where I got the money from.
Okay,
So
that's
if I
interesting.
won like flag football tournament, or
You said if you what?
fantasy
Hold
football,
on, you said if you what?
won.
If you won.
Yeah.
You played?
When we won.
Okay. You
Yeah.
played? All right.
I
Did
was
you
on
play
the team.
flag football?
I was on the team. I was like a player coach. I just coached primarily because that's where they needed me the most.
You know why we hate player coaches? Because they're really just coaches that force their way into playing. Like, we didn't ask you to play, but because you're the coach, you draw the plays up for yourself. We're like, coach.
Yeah, because it was a good play. I thought it was a good play.
That was a good thing.
How many years ago was this?
You're the only one running the route. Everybody's standing still. Block. Earl's going down the field. Hey, I'm open. No one else is running.
Y'all know I can hear y'all, right? I had the headphones on.
So what would you think? What would you think to do with yours?
I mean, I think it's around taxes, and if we're getting that stimmy, man, I'm trying to get my new bike, man. I'm trying to get hype into the bike season.
Well, like a sickle or
Bicycle, yeah, bicycle.
Okay.
When you say
That's
you gotta,
become-
be
Oh, my
specific. Yeah,
Not a vroom vroom.
not a, a sickle with the bell, right?
Due to circumstances, biking has become like
A huge outlet for a lot
the
of
current
people, dude.
current favorite way to pass
Get
time
out,
now.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
Shout out
wanna get
to
outside.
Streets Calling Bike.
Yeah, Streets Calling Bike Club, man.
Bike
Shout them
Club
out,
too.
man.
Sickles again, sickles, not not the motorbikes. Yeah.
So if you were to receive one, what would you?
Similarly to my man, I would spend a little piece of it, so I could see myself blowing the 400,
Okay.
putting the stack away.
Now, is it on something productive or just something just
Like street narcotics.
What
right?
you want, yeah.
So probably half and half.
Okay.
Like I would look and I would say, oh, okay, it might be nice to knock down a payment or give myself some breathing room, on a card note or, something like that.
Right.
But then I'm going to go out and I'm going to do something for Nacy
Party code.
Okay.
or the latter.
Get the good stuff. Get the good stuff. Straight from Colombia.
So speaking of money, Mr. Kanye West has officially been tagged as, and again, I mean, I guess reports are saying he is now the richest African American male in the United States. Or in the world, right?
That's
I
what's
don't
up.
know if it was,
But it's conflicting reports because one report, which is Kanye's report, says that it's 6.6 billion.
6.6
Billion.
billies.
But Forbes values him at 1.8. At the end of the day, it
Congrats,
doesn't matter,
yeah.
right?
I mean,
at the end of
that's
the
what's
day, congratulations
Hey,
on being a
congratulations,
billionaire.
dude,
Let's start there. But in line with this new way of podcasting that y'all are forcing upon me, my opinion.
Oh yeah, here we go.
While I appreciate the fact that we're showing African American success to that degree, I do, because of the imagery and the optics that Kanye represents today,
right.
I feel like that could be problematic. And there's legs to that as far as like the conversation, but I think everyone understands the position I'm speaking from as of today. It's just problematic because of how he got there.
Right.
Well, let me not say how he got there. What he did once he got there, right? Because we all grew up like backpack Kanye. And we all keep asking for the old Kanye back.
Kanye, right.
But the Kanye that made it is nowhere near the person that we remember and that we were backing, right? So again, that's just my take on it. Does anyone have a different opinion on Kanye? I mean, he's been a billionaire, but if this is true, if it's even remotely true, this is incredible.
Yeah, I just want to ask, are you going to get rid of your Yeezys? Because we wear the same size. So I could hold them for you until
let me hold them braids.
you figure out how you feel about it. But I'm gonna wear them in the meantime.
All right.
So I mean, so are you gonna keep him or
keep what?
Okay, never
Yeah.
mind.
Right.
Okay, back to the old lead. There it is, right back.
You didn't want the old lead back.
right. Just like that. I agree with you. Honestly, I think, yeah, to not just say the exact same thing. I think Kanye's image, what he represents as of late, is a little conflicting, and it makes me like, while I'm happy for him or for the culture, if you will, I don't think he represents the culture. So
Right.
it's just like whatever.
Like now on the flip side, my man Hov, I would say over the course of a week, if those numbers are accurate, he he added possibly another 600 million to his portfolio. Let's give it up for him.
Oh yeah.
So
The liquor deal.
Shout out to Title.
So he
Tidal deal.
sold a stake in Tidal, and he also sold a stake in Ace of Spade.
Right.
Right.
Oh, he owns that.
Right, and he's
Yeah, so
he's
that's,
partnered
Lloyd Hennessy.
with Jack Dorsey, who, if anyone knows who that name is, that's the CEO of Twitter.
Right.
Also owns Square, which means he also
Exactly.
has stake in Cash App, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
Our moves right there.
so one of these days we're gonna actually have somebody on the podcast to talk about Bitcoin and NFTs, because I'm not exactly well versed in it, but it is something that's growing, and I think it's something that we do need to talk about. But again, as far as representation, it's hard to argue with a better representative for the culture than Hov, right? So
I think I'm a better representative, but that's neither here nor there.
hold on, in rap.
Period.
Period.
In life.
All right.
In life.
Hold
Google
on.
me.
Hold on. No, I'm gonna ask.
You know me. You don't know Hov.
Wait a
You know
second.
me.
Wait a
Support
second.
me.
I support you. Wait a minute.
Support me.
Well, I mean, we got a beat. You
Nah, not right now.
don't want to feed the people those Philly bars right now?
No, not right now.
okay.
Not tonight.
Yeah, not right now. I need my jacket, my members only jacket, and then I'll be able to. Yeah.
All right. Since we're talking about jackets, this what I'm about to say has nothing to do with jackets.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you?
So a lot of noise has been made about this whole Quavo and Sweetie thing.
I don't want to talk about that.
You don't want to talk about that. Does
Has
anyone-
it been a lot of noise?
I mean, I guess if you pay attention to
little chirp.
Instagram,
Just a little chirp, chirp.
I mean, I guess if you pay attention to that,
What does that even mean?
what is as far as what?
Yeah. What's the noise? Did they break up?
Yeah.
Apparently,
Apparently.
right?
that's cool.
Yeah, apparently, right?
They'll
So
be back together next week.
But the question that I guess is coming from that is, let's take them out of it, right? Let's take the optics, right? A woman who seemingly is getting everything she wants from a man, they've somehow figured out a way to break up anyway.
Figure out a way. Let's go down the list. Oh, that didn't work. Damn, I still love you.
So from a male perspective, the question is, what's enough?
Well, we don't know what happened.
Because you're talking about what, Bentleys, Rolls Royces, Birkins,
I think
private jets. What's enough?
I think the great Latin philosopher J-Lo said that love doesn't cost a thing.
Clearly, because she just did the same thing.
Yeah, so I mean,
Right,
I would stay with somebody who bought me gifts like that,
right.
because I'm a bird, but like she may not think like that.
Right.
So if I got showered with gifts, yeah, I'd be cool.
Okay.
I'd
okay.
deal with some stuff.
All right. That's
How much would you deal with?
That's the real question.
Yeah.
What is your breaking
What's your
point?
breaking
What you would
point?
do with?
Right.
so what you're saying is that if a new box of Jordan 1 showed up
Every week.
consistently every
Yeah.
week, you can find a way to deal with some
I'm
stuff.
like, it's okay. She cares. This is how she shows me she cares.
Right.
The 80-20 rule.
Yeah, right. There you go.
So there was a phone call recently
Okay.
that happened.
I got a phone.
Yeah, you have a phone.
Uh-huh.
Right. And the conversation went a little something like without playing it, right?
Okay.
Hey Dad.
I know where this is going.
Hey Dad, how you doing? And then his dad proceeded to
Don't you ever.
so if you haven't heard it, Kirk Franklin and his son had a
tiff.
tiff,
spat.
a verbal altercation via the
father
phone,
and
right?
son.
Between father and son, right? And so when I first heard the story, I heard Kirk Franklin's son cussed him out. right? And so I immediately think like, well, this maybe a 13-year-old,
Yeah, this disrespectful
somewhere between
teenager.
13 and like 17,
16,
right?
17, right.
But then I go and look it up.
Yeah.
This kid,
He a grown-ass
is
adult male.
33 years old.
Yeah.
And so now we're talking about man to man saying the things that were being said.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the funniest thing I heard was that it wasn't Kirk Franklin, it was Plies. Right? So to hear the way that Kirk Franklin was talking was kind of shocking, right? Because you just didn't expect it. But what came out of that was Kirk Franklin apologizing to his followers, right?
Right.
So the question is, right, should you have to apologize as a parent
No.
for an honest emotion when you feel like your kid has crossed the line?
No, I think I shouldn't have to apologize for anything that happens in my personal life.
Because he didn't put the tape out. Right.
I think to that point I agree, but I think also when you go into this light of being in stardom, Hollywood, famous,
Right.
you owe a certain, not saying you owe because it's your choice at the end of the day, but when you put yourself, like when you talk about NBA players or football players, they say, I didn't ask to be a role model, but you are a role model because kids look up to you, that look like you, that want to be like you.
Right.
They look at you, to emulate you, to do everything you do. Everybody
Because you don't say that when you're selling a jersey that's clearly for a kid.
Exactly.
And you know what I'm saying? You don't say that then,
'cause
right?
Everybody grew up saying Jordan or Kobe, whatever the case is.
Or
like
Kirk. Nobody said that. Whoa, yeah.
I just felt like his publicist was like, hey, you all need to
Make a statement.
get in front of this,
Yeah.
right? But look at all the celebrities that we see every day where scandals happen that don't say nothing.
Yeah, but
But it
they're
speaks
not
to the
Christian,
character of
right?
who he is,
Or
and
they're
that's-
not like
Right.
known Christians, right?
But I think that's the whole double standard of being a Christian, though.
Yeah, just because I'm a Christian,
Because I
doesn't
can
mean
say
that
I'm
can't
Christian and I
chastise
can do
my
whatever I
children.
want, right?
But
Yeah,
it's
so here's what I thought, right? When to your point, is Kirk Franklin's whole empire built upon him?
Being a super Christian.
Yeah.
no, because
It seemed like it because he was quick to come out and apologize for
Because of
that.
what-
And it's like, who could blame him considering how he was spoken to?
because where he's at now, and to respect to Kirk, to speaking to the point and apologizing to the people that he felt admiring him or holding to a certain regard. So applaud him for that. But at the same token, I think to your point about saying, was he always that? No, Kirk has a storied history, and he talks about it freely about where he
Right.
came from, what he struggled with, struggled with pornography and everything like that. He talks about that.
Because there was a story about climbing into the dumpster after he threw it away. There was that story
like
about
he had
climbing.
he had
yeah.
serious struggles, man. And so he's never shied away from it. So that's why even with them talking about the fact that he cussed his son out, to E's point, like that's a conversation between father and son.
Right.
Like how I raise my child is how I raise my child. And in this situation, that's not a child.
Right.
That's a grown man. So
Yeah.
But do you ever stop raising your kids?
No, you never do. You never
another
do.
that's another
You
leg
never
on
do.
it, right? Like,
Right.
do you ever stop raising
You
your
never do.
kids? Because like with mine, you put yourself in these shoes and you say, well, at 33, you still mine.
Yeah.
Right. And
Right.
no matter how big you get, you know the whole thread that we used to get, right?
for
You
sure.
still mine. So he's still a parent, right? And so he was talking to his child.
regardless
And-
of how old he
right.
is, he's still his senior.
Right. Now, is it? I guess the ultimate question is it ever appropriate, despite what the kid said, is it ever appropriate for a parent to speak to their child that way?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he is he's a grown ass man,
Right.
and apparently, whatever issues they had, they had to address it as grown ass men.
Yeah, he's not going to talk to him
that's
like
the
a
approach he
10-year-old.
took,
Like,
right.
I'm going to say, hey, you go sit down now. You don't talk to me
Right,
like that, all right?
exactly.
Right.
Like, he's not going to adhere to that.
Yeah.
But we all can agree if this was a face-to-face conversation, this is gonna get physical.
Yeah, somebody would put hands
Oh,
on him.
yeah.
Probably.
Maybe.
Fact.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't see Kirk as the type to really take too much talking face to face.
Yeah.
So Stomp,
I'm just-
Stomp had different meanings.
To each his own, right?
Oh, okay.
I felt like the interview that they did, him and his partner did,
His wife.
I think thought went into it. She was very well put together. He didn't seem as well put together as I think we're used to seeing him. And so it made me think maybe this was just real or
Yeah.
or I don't want to say it was rushed, but I was kind of just like, why is he not presenting like he
Well, because
Normally would
because
be
at the
on
end of the
television.
day, don't forget that Kirk Franklin, the superstar, is still Kirk Franklin at home.
Yeah.
So when all those lights and those cameras went away, Kirk Franklin was carrying the weight of, man, I got a son out here that's lost,
He can't
and
sleep at
we
night.
have to figure this out as a family. We got to figure this out. And so even amongst your friends, I think sometimes we forget to do that, right? You know the whole adage of check on the good friend.
Yeah.
I still don't know if people do that.
No,
right?
not
Because
at all.
you just assume that everything
good.
is okay,
Exactly.
and you never think to ask and stop and ask those questions. So just trying to bring that full circle, right? As far as
Yeah, no, I agree.
just make sure you're having those conversations, checking on your people, because you never know, right? Because those family secrets, you know, we do a good job within our community of trying to hide those, and then
Especially
they
in
come
our
out
community.
right, and then they come out in whatever fashion they do, and then we're all shocked,
storm.
even though
Exactly.
we've been there the whole time. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Before y'all move on,
Yeah.
you said dude was diving in a dumpster for porn.
He struggled with a lot of stuff, bro. Like, I mean, I think, and
This is before like Twitter and stuff.
yeah, this is, I mean, back when he was like in his early 20s, probably late.
Say because
19.
you could just the best porn is on Twitter. You could just skip all that. He ain't had to do all that. Everybody knows that. But yeah, go ahead. Never mind.
So I
My
don't
bad.
weird transition, but
I was about to say, what's the hashtag?
so as an adult, right? So when you were a kid, right?
Yeah.
You just thought it was gonna be super sweet as an adult, right? You just thought that, you know, when I get older, I'm gonna have money. I'm gonna go where I want to go. I'm gonna
Psych.
drive whatever car I want to drive.
sure.
All these things. You didn't know that there was, you know, this thing called adulting that had to take place in order to enjoy those things. And then by the time you have time, you don't have time, right?
There's no enjoyment.
The biggest oxymoron ever.
That's real.
There's no
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So now that us, right, this collective, we are firmly
In
I
adulting.
was about to say,
Adulting.
yeah, firmly set in adulting, right?
It's not gonna wash.
Is it? And I know the answer, but let's put some legs on this, right? Is it what you thought it would be at this stage, right? Because we're not spring chickens, right? And we're not quite over.
I ride
for yourself.
35 miles on my bicycle.
Yeah, sickle.
I'm a spring chicken.
You're doing that again?
Oh yeah,
You're
remember
doing that again?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Watch
Say it.
Watch your mouth, Uncle Lee. Watch your mouth, okay? Watch your mouth.
She never got left off that movie.
All right.
remember
So
that.
all right. So okay, we'll focus on Nacy. So
Older.
so in this regard, when you've matured, and you reach for a leather members only jacket,
Right.
trying to remember the time. So again, back to the adulting thing, right? Oh, speaking of, can I get a vibe also has to find time to rest. I'm gonna come back to that.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's part of the
that was
conversation,
a
right?
bar. That was a bar. dog.
That's an inside joke, and we'll
Drop
explain
the
it.
mic, that's a
But
bar.
yeah, is adulting remotely what you thought it would be in any aspect?
I knew I would get to do what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I still get to do what I wanted to do. It's
Right.
America. You can do what you want.
Consequences.
It just comes with comes with things, right? So
If you want
silver
to.
bracelets or little bars.
exactly, yeah. So yeah, I have the luxury and the freedom to do what I want. It's just all those decisions come with baggage, if you will. So
Right.
I do miss the before I even go down that path. I miss the good old days though.
What would give me one aspect of the good old days?
Like
that you
waking up, just
Doing
scratching
nothing.
your nuts and going about your day,
Stretching your wow.
scratching.
Oh, you said scratching.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
You get to live how you want to live. You didn't have to pay any bills.
Hold on. I'm gonna ask the question that I know the people are wondering. So what you're saying is that as an adolescent, you were able to do that,
Right.
But as a grown man, you are unable to do
Well,
that.
I scratch my nuts, but now I have to wash my hands because I'm an adult. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like I still get to do what I want, but
Hence
now I
COVID.
gotta wash my hands.
But the consequences that you have to wash your hands, that is
So-
disgusting. All right. So
just
yeah.
saying.
Anybody else
Damn.
got anything? Yeah. What's one aspect of adulting that you're like, oh man, like you celebrate it now that you can do it. But and then the second question is, what do you miss?
I mean, I guess the one thing for me to E's point, is like I can just pick up and go when I want to, in a sense, right? Like if I wanted to go somewhere, I can, obviously you got to move things around. Say if I want to go on vacation, you obviously put things in place, but you can still do it because you chose to.
Right.
Right. As opposed to, I got to ask mom for permission. If I can't do it here, I got to do it 2 years from now.
Let me ask you this. So do you feel like with your children, right?
Them damn
do you feel like you try to give them more leeway than you were given?
No, I don't.
No,
I
you
try
don't.
Not to.
I feel like I do. I feel like I do because I know that pretty strict house, right? So I try not to impart all of it onto them. Now there's moments where you're not getting a pass, right? But I try not to bestow the whole thing. Yeah, that just happened.
I hate you.
No, we saw it.
But yeah, so I'm sorry. Back to the. We're so childish here.
My bad.
Like,
Hey,
this show is
apologize to our participants.
For those that don't know, and we don't even need to say
has arrived.
He is here.
Yeah.
Or he is hair. If you see his hair, then you know who we talking about.
He's here all night, folks.
But yeah, okay. So what? Adulting. What are your thoughts?
Adulting. So like the voice, I just.
Can we not? Okay. Can we not? Y'all are gonna stop doing this, right?
What?
So y'all say
What
that
you
I
do.
don't share.
This is what
Yeah,
you
but
do.
then they
This is-
piggyback.
Right. So you piggyback, and now here you going saying like the voice, right?
I was going a lot deeper than him.
Go deep.
Okay, go ahead.
You know the hashtag. I'm gonna say F them kids. I love my daughters.
And they love you too.
And they love me too. And I never thought that I would be
Till
a
they hear
mother.
this episode.
I did not desire. I was not one of those women that like, oh, I want to have kids. I'm gonna be married and blah blah blah. And so, my twin daughters are definitely a blessing, but it is a lot when you are thinking about, who you are as a person and the things that you desire that you want to achieve. So thinking about adulting, just being able to do, no matter what it is, and knowing that you have a bigger purpose or a higher calling, things that you are responsible for outside of your normal rent. I gotta. These two people want to know where I am. These two people want to talk to me frequently. They want to know, like, they're people. Yeah. So that responsibility, I think, for me in adulting is, yes, I can get up and do, but there's a lot of juggling, a lot of scheduling, a lot of pre-planning that goes into, just doing.
Right. So let me ask you, like, not to keep going back to the Kirk Franklin thing, but do you see in your kids you?
Oh, right. So to touch on the point Lee was asking about, like, freedom and how you. Right. So I definitely think I'm a lot more communicative with my children than
that's a good SAT word.
I was raised.
Yeah, let's can we put communicative right there?
Thank you.
That's a 10-point Scrabble.
Yeah.
Word.
2 master's degrees. 2 master's degrees.
That V
I
is
think I
part
communicate
6.
with my children a lot more than I was communicated with, and perhaps perhaps they're not in a space to be able to really truly receive and understand, but we have.
So you don't operate under the premise of because I said so. You're willing to explain the thought process behind it.
Sometimes I still am. They know that I'm the authority no matter what, but I will, after they, if I'm having to chastise them or if they, have had to have a punishment or talking or whatever, I then go and I do a follow-up after.
Right.
And we have a full conversation so I can understand, do they understand why mama was upset?
Right.
So look, let me also get this string, right? So some of us struggle with the fact of explaining ourselves to our children. Right. Some of us struggle with that.
Yeah, but that's something I never got.
But here's what I think about though, right? So our parents, for the most part, that era, all of them did not have the opportunity to go to college, right? No. Or to have higher levels of education. I literally just thought about this. So they set us up to be able to do that. We are now producing a generation that is smarter, faster, and they know more.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Why wouldn't we, right? Now, I can understand you can take the negative connotation and say, because I said so. But we're breeding the next generation to be smart. My daughter, I engage with her, right? I'm not saying this is the right way. I'm just saying she has points based off of what she knows. Now, I am making her that way. Why would I then stifle her in a conversation in which I'm trying to produce someone that can have independent thought.
Right.
Right.
So I know it's a catch-22 to a degree.
Yeah.
But I think that sometimes you have to adjust. Right. Now I'm not saying you have to conform because that's different.
Right.
Right. But I think we have to somewhat adjust because again, we're that generation that is now breeding this generation. And again, they're smarter. They have points of view.
Right.
So what's the balance, right?
But to that point, though, like I think I said this I can't remember the episode off the top of my head, but I know I stated that the one constant thing in life is change.
Right.
And the one thing that we have to do is adapt to that change. And to your point, like you said, we're in a generation and we're raising a generation of scholars and, world changers and world leaders that we have to cultivate in a sense and make them or help them get to where their potential is or what we believe their potential can be.
Right.
So I think it's definitely levels to it. I think I come from a school of thought where, coming from a third country household, both my parents from the Caribbean, coming from that household where do as I say in the early stages of life benefits you in the sense of authority and knowing what's right and what's wrong. And then I think once I got older, I felt like those conversations were pertinent because it, like you said, it jogged those thoughts and those conversations like, hey, mom, hey, dad, what is this and what is that? And then we had those conversations. But I think in the beginning stages, that basis of authority still needs to be placed. And I'm not saying that it's not in that situation, but I think I feel like you have to set that precedence early.
So your sons challenge you now. What's your response?
If they
like that switch quick, I'm gonna bust his.
Oh man, it depends on what they challenge me against. But I think if they catch me in a good space, right? I think my initial reaction is to explain to them why.
But see, that's where I struggle.
Okay,
I struggle with that, right? And this is, I guess we're right. So I struggle with the if I'm in a good space part, right? And not to say that I don't find myself in that same dilemma, right? But should that matter, right? So and where I'm going with that,
nature.
yeah. So right. So where I'm going with that, where I'm going with that is that what I allow my kids to do, not all the time, but for the most part, I say, well, explain it to me, right? And if my kids can formulate a thought and it makes sense, and it doesn't necessarily have to make sense to me, but if they have a thought process that they went through and they felt like that was a good idea,
you gonna let them rock.
What I'm saying, not that they're gonna get away with it. I'm still going to correct it, but I'm gonna say, okay, at least you thought through it. Now let's talk through your thought process. Let's go back through that. Again, I just don't want to stifle the fact that they have a thought and they had a thought process, I guess is what I'm thinking. Because I'm just thinking that I just think along the lines of, what are you going to do when you're not there?
When I say you're not in that space.
Right. Yeah, it can't just be solely based off of your presence being there and saying, I did it. Well, do it this way because I said so.
Along those lines,
because we all broke free at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
It was all no holds barred at that point once we hit the street.
Yeah,
right?
but along those lines, but not to veer off too deep. But I read something where this parent, she was saying like she allows her children to say no to her.
Okay.
Because essentially, she wants her children to be able to say no to other adults, right? Because when you think about, not to go on the wrong, too negative path, but when you think about, right, the girls at Michigan on the gym team, on the gymnastics team or whatever, right? Part of that was they may not have had experience saying no to adults, right? Yeah. So if you get that practice, unfortunately, with your parents or, with your parents, and in her statement, my child will have the confidence to be able to say no to anyone who's potentially doing something that they're not comfortable with, right? So
when you say no, you mean like no thank you.
no ma'am.
She didn't go.
Not today.
She didn't go into that detail in the article, but I thought it was an interesting perspective, right? Yeah, there's no ma'am. No, but please don't hurt me, ma'am.
Right. I mean, I'm just trying to get some clarity here.
But I think every reprimand or every conversation has to come with some understanding of the concept of what the situation is. Like to that point, I feel like I mean, I tell my kids like, yo, you adhere and listen to adults and respect adults,
right.
as long as you don't feel in danger and you don't feel unsafe.
Okay, right, with a caveat.
Exactly,
right.
that's what I'm saying. Like you explaining to them when in these situations, ideally to say no, but you still show respect to an extent. But obviously, if it's
but I think
back against the wall, do what you gotta do.
But see, I think now. So to kind of step on that point a little, right? Telling them what situations. Right, it becomes almost similar to what Earl is saying, right? Because now it's like in these situations,
only say that,
right? Where it could be other situations where again that independent thought can kick in, because a lot of us instinctively, is that the right word? Yeah, instinctively we respond to things.
I'm not going to agree to that. I'm not sure.
We instinctively respond to things based off of what we understand and what we believe. So again, just having that way of thought to be able to decide at certain times. I just wanted to kind of make my point before we get out of here about what my adulting thing. I like the fact that I don't have to have conversations that I don't want to have. I think that's the most beautiful thing as an adult that I think that I experience, is the fact that I don't have to talk about anything that I don't want to,
or justify your
right, or I don't have to do anything that I don't want to. And so it's like even a job. I'm at work, you say something that rubs me the wrong way, you know what, I'm out. Right? I'm sure people in relationships do it. They say I've had enough, and I'm gonna do something else next weekend. I'm just saying, there's any number of things that as an adult that you get to make these decisions. And I think that's the big thing for me, that I could just be like right now, right? I want to quit this podcast. Right, and at any given moment, I could just hit a button, and then we out of here. Right, I could do that.
We can quit it. So look, let me ask y'all, what are y'all doing? I know y'all named a few things in terms of like giving them free thought, right? Like,
right.
But specifically, like, what are some things that you're doing differently than the previous generation, right? Like, I know I got hella whoopings and uppercuts. And,
okay,
you know what I mean.
What am I doing differently?
That.
I'll tell you. I allow my children to correct me when I do something wrong. If they identify something that I did was wrong,
okay.
And again, the articulation and the way you say it, obviously, but
it's big of you.
But if they bring it to my attention, then I'm willing to. I'm willing to let them know that I'm humble enough, right, to accept,
approachable,
to accept the criticism. Wrong is wrong, because that's what you tell them.
That's what you tell them.
Wrong is wrong, right? Yeah. So if they identify something wrong, I'm willing to hear them out, and if it requires an adjustment in behavior, then we'll do that. I.e., a lot a kid when you start cursing, like, your kids are quick to correct you. So like when they hear that, all right, you're right, because I said. Cursing, we shouldn't do that, right? Gotcha. So yeah. So
what's your attitude adjustment method? You said adjustment in behavior, but my mom's attitude adjustment was the left hook. How do you adjust your kids' attitude
before or after the right?
No, man. So
that's what she led with.
So to your point, man, like I talk to my kids, so they know different tones. Okay, right? They know when we're having a one-way conversation versus a hey, let's converse. Okay. They know the difference between the two. Yeah. Right.
Interesting. Okay. How about you? Are you doing anything different?
Similarly, there's tones to it. I think
it's a lot of words.
I mean, you know what's going on in my household already, but I think
look at my man.
Yeah. He's interested. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
He is here.
Miss Nason, continue, please.
What's really going on?
I just couldn't help it.
Whoop me. Don't let somebody else. I'm done. I'm done. Turn my lights off. What is going on?
I can't stand it here. I hate it here. So look, back to the podcast.
Right.
But okay. So what are you doing differently?
Man,
listen,
I think
you had the strong Caribbean background. You know,
it's a tough transition. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, let me ask you this: do you want to change? Do you want to do something different?
The desire. I mean, the thing is,
because you turned out all right.
Yeah, and that's why I'm looking at it in the lens, right? How I was raised, and not saying like everything they did was right. And looking back, it was like, dang, they could have did that a little differently, right? They could have asked me, like you said, let's have this conversation. And then obviously when they got into the older ages, we had more conversations. When I was like, I was bigger than my mom at that point, and I could look at my dad in the eye, so it was like a different type of conversation. So
Still couldn't beat him though.
nah, that's they say, what they say, I brought you, I could put you, I could send you back or whatever the case. But I think it's a struggle though for real, because with having 2 boys, right? I feel like, especially in this world, in this day and age, I think and like I said, no parenting way or parenting style is 100% correct.
Right.
Like this is what I
my style is 100% correct.
To you, I see what you're doing.
To my house,
exactly.
Yours is to yours.
I got you. I respect that.
I'm just saying about to tell me otherwise.
Yeah, to that point.
You know what you're doing right now? You're adulting.
Freedom of choice, right?
Live on the podcast.
And we keep y'all bringing up like this point of adulting, right? This point of adulting sucks, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Adulting isn't bad. The best point of adulting is 23.
Early.
23 to 25.
Early.
Yeah, 23
early.
to
That's when it's
25.
fun.
Do you remember
Yeah.
25?
Right.
Best
25
year of
was
my
lit.
life.
It was a long night.
You got to do what you want. You paid bills. You still get to. You actually got to do what you want.
You know what's interesting though is
That's
that
the best time to be an adult.
In getting to know all three of you had a different from 18 to 25 than I did. Right.
Oh,
Because of my career choice, right? I was grinding the whole time. Right.
No.
So
I'm grinding on my life.
So I can't say that I've ever really had that period that y'all are talking about that you enjoyed so much. I can't really say I had.
And
You
we
feel like you missed out?
3 of those years together, like doing nothing.
I can't say I really had that.
Yeah. Early adulting, fake adulting.
If y'all could see the look in her eyes when she's describing that time.
Memories.
Don't live like people do. More tune for that. Pull up selector. Yo.
Best years of my life. Literally best years of my life.
It was very short lived too,
man. Because I think because after that I feel like boom.
Yeah.
Everything just hit like
The thing is, there's so much pressure to get there, right? So wherever that is, to here, right? And then when you're here, like you said, right, you're like, man, how do I find a way to get back? I always I talk about with my situation, my youngin, when they are of age, they're getting gap years. They're gonna like live in the house until they're ready. Like I'm providing all those things that I wish I had.
Hold on, you're committing to that now.
I'm committing to that.
You
now.
can stay in the house as long as you
until you're ready. Unless you're a dude,
you're ready.
You got to be out by 25 if you're a dude.
Okay.
But if it's a girl, she can stay till she's 30.
But that's a Caribbean thing though.
I'm hoping she have like somebody else takes her off my hand by then.
Right.
But
At 25, you marrying her off at 25?
I mean, she can go at 22 if she ready.
She paying rent.
Excuse me.
She like
see. So
the house
here's the plan. Right here's the plan. Yes,
this is interesting.
She would pay
This
rent
to me.
She would pay rent, and that would all go to her once she's out. You see what I'm saying? It's all
She
just
doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, she don't know. Well, if she listens to this, which she won't. Daddy, what? Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like I want to be able to provide those type of things, so that adulting is
different.
easy. It looks different and it's easier, right? I want to be able to provide that leg up. So, yeah, you graduate college, you want to figure out, you want to travel the world, you want to do whatever you want to do for a few years. A couple, let's go couple, 1 to 2, right? Go ahead, knock that out. When you get back, come stack your money, find a gig, start your business, whatever it is. Chill in the crib.
So to
pay
that
me
point,
rent, and that'll go to your down payment.
Can she bring guests to the home?
Nah.
Okay.
So to that point,
she ain't that grown. If she in my house, she ain't that grown.
Got it.
I see what you did though. That was cute.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
So even like that, right? So customary things that we grew up on. Does the gentleman still have to come to the door to pick her up? Does he have?
He about to text, "Hey, I'm outside."
Hey, but that's what they're doing.
That's
now,
gonna be the
right?
vibe though.
They're doing now.
Daughter, though, so
But that's gonna be the vibe with our kids though. Like they barely talk to each other now.
But it's what you instill in her though.
Yeah,
but this is going back to the: do you adjust or do you conform? right?
Yeah, just that. Because this is my opinion from a female perspective. If he's the type of gentleman that you don't want to bring, around your parents, because there's a different type of gentleman, then you need to be driving to that gentleman. You're not having no man pull up at my house and you're running out to his car. I need to know who you gonna be around, what the location is. Like,
it's the first couple of times,
yeah.
But she's gonna be like, but mom, he has 10,000 followers on Instagram. Like, come on. That's gonna be her response.
Well, she wouldn't be living in my house probably at that age at that point anyway. I mean, I'm just being real. But I think, that's never gonna be an option. If a gentleman is coming to pick you up, he needs to be willing to come to this door, and I need to know and see who he is, even if I only see him once or twice. But you're not running out to no car after no man.
Because I think we're beginning to see slight shifts in like what are customs, right?
Right.
Customs and courtesies, right? Like speaking when you walk into the house. Right. Like these kids are different. Like I check mine every time they do it. And the funny thing is that as a kid, I didn't understand it. I thought it was annoying, right? I was like
frustrated.
But now as an adult, like if you want to get my attention, come in the house and not say something. Especially if I'm looking at you.
In my house? Yeah. Oh God, I'd be looking at their parents like, bruh.
Right.
Make your kids speak, cause or all y'all gotta go.
Or you all gotta go.
My parents used to say that all the time. Yo, did I wake up next to you? You mad at me? What's up? Every time, though. I was like, did I wake up next to you? Like, you speak when you see me, yo.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. But I think to Nace's point, like the precedents that you instill in your child as you're raising them will in turn attract who you want to be in your life. So I think if she's setting that precedence for her daughters to know, like, hey, you're not running out to no dude's car or whatever the case is, whoever she's going to be entertaining at that point in their life is going to be respectful enough to come in the house, speak to Mom and Pop Grigsby and like, hey, we're not even say that we're going, like, just to be respectful, like, hey, how you doing? Hi. It don't have to be more than 30 seconds. That was good. I'm just here to say hi and we're gone.
Well, that's another thing that I think about too, is that like, I'm being real with myself. I don't see me being receptive. Right. I've already thought through this first interaction, right?
Well, the
first guy that I'm going to be introduced to, come on, it's over. I'm not going to be receptive to that. I don't care how nice you are or anything. I'm not going to be receptive to that.
And that's okay, but
it's going to have to be.
The idea.
He's not going to have a choice.
But I don't think
that's the wife's job to be
we're not friendly, right? It's the idea of like, just want you to know that this is not a slut
But we
factory.
all knew parents, but we all knew parents of other kids that were like, they were the friends, like
not at this house.
Like the mom and the daughter were like competing almost.
Yeah. I remember in high school, never mind.
I was about to say.
Not tonight.
Go ahead. We here now.
I just had a friend, and her mom was like, "Oh, come on in." Like, like, "Oh, I'll be right back." Like, don't worry, y'all have, and going for hours. Like, almost like it felt like she was like encouraging, like,
Oh wow.
Teen mom vibes.
You know what I mean? I would ask a follow-up question, but knowing you from North Philly, right?
No follow-up.
Okay.
I got a family. I have a family. I have a family. Like, no, I have a family. Like, what are y'all doing, yo?
You live.
What are y'all doing?
You open that door in that
One thing for sure, yo. Like, yo, what are y'all doing?
Nah, we still got some more to talk about.
Jeez, are y'all finished? Are y'all done?
Nah, man, that's a great way to cap. That's a great way to cap, man. Hey, a word from our sponsor.
Follow 3ThePodWay on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hey, and for he, right? Because we said we weren't gonna say his name. Hey man, we glad that you showed up. We glad that you're here.
Why isn't he taking pictures?
That's why he's
one
here.
Job.
He has one job.
He's here to chill, y'all ain't realize it.
One job.
He didn't even bring the camera bag in. That's how you know he's not on the job.
Oh my gosh. Listen,
that joint's closed.
In closing, I do want to say one thing. Shout out to the OG, Miss Angie. She used to always say, kids are here to do stuff that their parents don't want to do.
Praise God.
I will.
Macy said prayer hands.
I will be taking that with me into parenting and adulting for sure. Yeah.
No, that's dope.
Pick
man.
that up. Get that. Yeah, that's gonna happen for sure. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's on me.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, this
man.
is where I do my part.
That's where you do your part.
So one thing for sure.
2 things for certain.
3ThePodWay.